Listening works. This kind of listening works because it gives the person we're listening to the space to hear themselves think, to reflect, maybe even reject some of their initial assertions. It gives you the space and the time to think, to reflect, and maybe reject some of your initial assertions. The other week I was out for dinner with a friend of mine, and she said, I really get what you're saying with this radical listening. I do think it's important, I really do, but I don't think I could do it. It's just too hard. So I said, Patty, what would be the worst thing that could happen if you sat across the table from someone and listened to their views that you found really distasteful? I said, I would just be so uncomfortable. Yep, you'd be uncomfortable. And what would be the worst thing that could happen then? She said, I would just be really uncomfortable. And that was the worst she could think of. And I asked her, and I want to ask you, is it worth it? Is it worth it for this momentary discomfort in exchange for the possibility of new ways of being together, new ways of thinking, new ways of collaborating, new ways of solving some of these entrenched issues that face all of us? I want to end with just a short story. This is an embarrassing story. This does not make me look good when it comes to radical listening. But you can tell that I'm really passionate about this and the possibilities of radical listening in every domain of human interaction. And I was running this idea by a dear friend and colleague of mine. And her first response was, what's the point? They're never going to change my mind. I'm never going to change their mind. What's the point? And I immediately started to tell her about why this was so important and giving her all the data and the research and like why this was such a good idea. And I was trying to convince her and persuade her, and I did everything short of shaming her and blaming her. I didn't listen. I didn't come to where she was standing and see the world through her eyes.